Hi there, Coach Carl, along for a little bit of my own content, to be honest. Yes, I'm still wearing the Joe's Boxing Gym because I'm still trying to shoot content in the same evening. All right, my merch, I just haven't got ready just now. So what I wanted to cover with you today, all right, is I wanted to cover with you one of the fundamental lifts, strength lifts for your strength and conditioning, okay? It's also known as the king of exercises, really. I've heard it called a number of things. Basically, the deadlift. All right. It's a static strength movement. Okay. It's a full body workout, although 60% is in the legs and the glutes, and then the last portion, the 40%, is your back. All right. Now I've seen this. I've seen this done wrong so many times, and I've heard so many comments from people talking about, there's so many myths out there. Oh, I've got a bad back, I can't do deadlifts, it kills me back, it does me back. My grip's not strong enough, whatever. I've heard every excuse under the sun, and that, to be honest with you, is exactly what it is. It's actually bad education. The Olympic lifting coach who trained myself as well as my CrossFit coaches, Leon Rotherham and Kempy, from Northeast CrossFit as it was, and it's now Unity CrossFit. They were Leon was my teammate, as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu teammate, as well as my CrossFit coach. We had a lady called Vika. I don't remember her surname, I'm sorry. She had an Olympic lifting club called Above the Bar, I believe it was at the time. I'm sorry, my memory, I might have got that wrong. I apologise if I do. It was England's weightlifting, GB level weightlifting coach, Olympic lifting coach, and the two of them together taught me and others the actual correct way to be lifting, not to be doing it silly bro science and all the rest of that rubbish. Okay, so there's certain ways of the setup to a deadlift, and we were taught to be methodical about every aspect of the lift, from you approaching the bar, what bar you used. So you could have a straight bar, a straight Olympic bar, or a trap bar, which a lot of people believe is superior. I'm not too sure. I think there's benefits, in my belief, to both, have both of those, using both of those bars. All right. If you're lucky enough to have them in your gym. If not, you can accomplish the same with dumbbells. All right. But predominantly dumbbells are going to be pretty much at your sides, which is the same as a trap bar. Some people believe it's anatomically better and more stable. I think it's all down to your actual lifting style. All right. So I wanted to touch on, you have the different kinds. You have deadlifts from the floor, and you have deadlifts from a racked position. So they're basically called rack pulls, which you could normally put on more weight onto the bar. It looks more impressive, but it's all in your back, and you don't have as much sort of leverage from your legs to get you through that way, through the rest of the movement. Do they have a place? I suppose they do. Like a lot of things, I suppose they do have their place. Are they really necessary? No, not really. A lot of people use deadlifts for ego lifts, which isn't. Do something that's going to be purposeful to your goal. Okay, that's going to accessorize your goal. All right, it's going to help you if you want to get strong. Yes, but they can also be used as a conditioning drill. As a conditioning component to an exercise circuit. All right, with a lighter weight for higher reps. All right. So I'm trying not to waffle on too much, but it is, when you do take it seriously, the deadlift, and you want to stay safe, then really I do kind of feel I have to explain these parts to you so you can get a bigger picture of what my methodology is, or what I've been taught. Okay? So let's start from the ground up. All right? So your footwear. First of all, your footwear. Now, a lot of people like myself, I prefer if I want to do deadlifts, I take my shoes off completely and just go bare feet or just near socks, bare feet. You don't want to be using any soft, spongy shoes at all. None. They don't help you whatsoever. They actually make things worse for the autonomy of your ankles. Basically, when you're pushing down onto the floor, when you've got the weight on the bar, you want as much ground force displacement as possible. Now, to accomplish that, you need an absolutely solid, flat surface. You don't want to use anything else, anything spongy or anything like that. It's just not going to work. You don't get the same effect. You could do it, but you're not getting the same anatomy of that, response of that. It just doesn't happen. Anyone can say what they like, but that's the cold hard truth of it. Okay, you need a nice solid platform. That's why Olympic lifters in competition and all these others, their floors are rock solid. Okay, they're the solid wooden platforms, and that's why they're there, for force displacement. Okay, so now, if you don't want to be flat-footed, something like Converse, where the soles are just flat, they're fine. A lot of lifters use those. Boxing boots, some bodybuilders use those. I don't really see the point in using any other type of. There's no benefit for me for using any other type of shoe wear for that situation. All right, so moving on. So when you're at the bar, you want to be approaching the bar, okay, with a mindset. Okay, bear in mind you're not going to be starting with a big weight. You're going to be starting with a nice lightweight, even an empty bar, and you're going to start by doing a couple of reps. Okay, do a few reps. Okay, make sure the feeling, your balance is all okay. All right, you're feeling nice and confident, because it is a lot about confidence as well with the lift. It can be a dangerous lift, but you have to go in with the mindset that bar is coming off the floor no matter what. And you're gonna accomplish that. It's mind-muscle connection. You're gonna tell yourself that's what's gonna happen, and that is what's gonna happen. People can get hurt by approaching the bar, getting hold of the bar, and all of a sudden their mind goes, and then their form goes, and all of a sudden they've got an injury. Okay, it can't happen that simply. Okay, that simple. It really is that simple. Okay, you've got to be really confident. It's a confident lift. You've got to give yourself no room for doubt. And if you approach this lift in this way, then honestly, if you do it correctly, with the correct methodology on the approach to the bar and everything else, then you're going to be absolutely safe, all right? So like I say, I'm going to run through it step by step. So when you approach the bar, there's these styles. It doesn't matter so much on a trap bar, like what I've got here, okay? What I'm going to demonstrate on. But when you get into the center of this bar, or in front of the barbell, the long barbell, okay? The long barbell, your hand placement, okay, on a straight bar is going to be just outside your legs. See how my thumbs are here? That's where I start, okay? So when I go down, when I bend down, okay, I'm gonna go my hips down first. I'm gonna get that bar, all right? And you're gonna see a little bit of this in a minute, all right? This is how I describe it, right? You wanna think about pushing the floor away from the weight, not the weight up off the floor, okay? Sounds strange that, but you've got to tell yourself in your brain you're gonna drive that floor away from the weight, not the weight away from the floor. Okay? Sounds crazy, but honestly, when you get right into it, these are the type of things you need to be thinking about and implementing in your lift. Okay? Now, let me tell you something about when people start to fail on their deadlifts, okay? It's all to do with the glutes. All right? So what I'm going to demonstrate, okay, is I'm going to step inside the trap bar here, okay? We're going to start nice and light, okay? I want both my feet pointing straight ahead, okay? I want my feet about hip width apart, so they're level with my shoulders, okay, all the way down. Okay, I'm going to go down to the position, all right, here. I'm going to sit back in my heels, and I'm going to push away. Now what happens is, some people leave their backside here, okay? So, what's that about then? What's that about, Carl? Well, what happens there is, a lot of people fail and they get a back injury because they leave their backside kicked out here. So if you think, I haven't completed the move. So this is where the glutes come in. You need to squeeze your glutes at the top. Okay? When you get to there, if you've got weak glutes, you're going to, and your lift starts to get heavier, you're going to struggle there. Okay? And if you stay here, you're going to potentially get a pain in the back. Okay? You're going to have issues with the lower back. Because all the weight is here. It's still hanging off the front there like that. It's still hanging off the front of you. Okay? You need to come through. Push your hips through. Squeeze your bum cheeks together. Like you're trying to hold in a fart. Right? That's pretty much what you got to do. Squeeze it like you're trying to hold in a fart. So when you're coming up off that lift, you need to squeeze your glutes in. Alright? So you're going to start at the bottom. We're going to recap that. So you're going to set up your position on the bar. You're going to walk in. You're going to get your heart position. Okay? You're going to hips down first. Okay? Hinge at the hip. The same as a squat. It's a hinge joint. Okay? So a lot of people will come here and then bend their knees and come down. Okay? No. You want to hip, 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 then drop the knee. Okay? That's how you want to do it. And on the way up, okay, it's drive, hip through, spine straight. Okay, I hope that helped you there. Alright? That's the middle section. Okay? So I'm going to demonstrate again. I'm going to get into the bar, okay? And watch what else I do, okay? In this position, okay? From here, I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to keep my back straight, okay? I'm going to keep my back straight down here, the glutes, alright? I'm going to keep my core straight up and down. I'm going to keep my chin. I'm going to pick a site about 8 feet in front of me, just down the floor. So I'm going to keep my spine straight, okay? So I'm going to sit here, okay? I'm going to get my bar, sit into my heels, drive. Now look what I do here. I don't do this. Can you see that? I don't what I call a banana in your back. No, that is the most case where people fail. Okay? Even if I come here, when I look forward, okay, I'm going to be here. I'm going to drop. Okay, up. I'm going to keep that there. Okay? If I keep my eyesight in one place, then what's going to happen with that is, I'm going to keep my spine straight, my neck straight, okay? So here, I'm going to drop your hips, flat. Push, straight. Okay? So if you see my spine is straight, I'm not like this. I'm in a straight line. And I'm going to tuck my chin a little bit. And I'm going to put my shoulders back. I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together. Then I'm going to relax my shoulder blades. Brace the core. Down. Controlled all the way up, all the way down. Okay? If you notice there on the spine, just like I talked about, it's a straight line. I don't care what these idiots are saying out there in the bro science. Oh yeah, I'm lifting big weight. You see them like this. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. They don't understand a single thing about anatomy. Because really, what they're doing there, it's a back hyperextension. Okay? You can lie on the floor, okay, in a controlled way where you're not going to get hurt. All right? You can lie tummy down, okay? Hands out in front of you like that, and raise yourself up. Look, I'll see if I can get this angle for you, okay? And raise yourself up and back down. Up and back down. That's what that's doing. Okay? But except you're making it dangerous by sticking a lot of weight on it with a bar, and you're like this. You know? You're like this. Danger. Danger all over. You haven't got a clue what you're doing. You need to stay away from deadlift, so that's what you're doing. I've been helping retrain so many people actually how to deadlift properly, and the amount of fear and sort of anxiety around a deadlift, all because of bro science and just stupid teachings that they don't understand how it should be. It's a static, straight movement, a deadlift. Straight from the floor, straight up. That is it. Your spine should be in a straight line. At the top, in a straight line. Squeeze your backside, squeeze your glutes, shoulders back at the top, straight line, back down with the hip. Okay? Hinge at the hip. It's the same as a squat. A squat is no different. You hinge at the hip. That's what keeps you safe. You drop the hip first. You don't try and rush it. You drop at the hip first, then engage the glutes. Smash the hips through, okay? Smash the glutes through. Tighten them up like you need a fart. Tighten it up. That's it, nice and straight and upright. I'm asking about danger if I'm like this. It's old, false bro science shite. You don't need it, okay? I'm sorry to use profanity, guys. Coach Cole doesn't always do that, all right? I just want to I really get passionate about this because I don't want to see people hurt, okay? So that is the full movement, okay? Up and down. Right? Approach the bar. Feet facing forwards, not out. Facing forwards. Nice straight line, hip width apart. Okay? Down, approach it. The best cue I can say is like a gorilla stance. You know, like a gorilla stance. A gorilla's like this. Okay? Pretty much. A gorilla's like that. If my camera will stop trying to track my ass. Okay? Like there. Keep it to your shin. If you've got a trap bar, it's okay. If you've got a normal bar, normal straight long barbell, you want that bar, depending on the flexibility of your hamstrings and your quads, your hamstrings and your calves, you always need to keep that bar right at your feet, at your shins. It'll go all the way up and it'll come all the way back down. Yeah? So that's what I'm actually aiming for. All right. So if you give me this bar for purpose, okay. So just like what I was talking about, okay. So if I've got this bar here, okay, I'm sitting back. It's harder because I've got no weight on. But if I'm coming up, if I get stuck, people get stuck on the knee. Okay, they think I can't keep it up because your hips. Okay, they'll do this. And it's forward, okay? Sit back, up, hips up, push through, straight line, okay? That made some sense, okay? So like I said, thumbs at your pockets, okay? Just at the side, that's the right distance. Down, even when you go down, hips back, and down. Hips up, push through. The bar should never leave your shins. Okay? I'm going to put this down just outside there. Okay? So, the bar never wants to leave your shins. And that's on a barbell. Okay? So, I hope that cleared it up for you guys. Okay? I wanted to do talk about one more topic. Okay? Weight, program for weight for a deadlift, and also for equipment. So safety equipment, belts, wraps, okay, straps, all right? Weight programming. You can always do a simple 5x5 program, okay? 5 sets, 5 reps, big rest in between if you're working for strength, okay? I suggest using a different style of program if you're going to be using it for hypertrophy. All right, so muscle growth. Now, 5x5, let me just explain real quick what that is, okay? Because I prescribed this to somebody, one of my clients recently, and they came back and they made a couple of little errors, okay? So, one of them, how do you start the 5x5? So what you'll do is you'll not actually just do 5 sets of 5 reps. You're going to end up doing about potentially 10 to 12, maybe more sets than that, than 5. So what do you mean it's a 5x5? How's that work out, Carl? Right, this is how it works. So what you'll do is, I mentioned this before, starting out with an empty bar, okay? So you'll do maybe 1 or 2 reps with that empty bar to get the movement, okay? Get the back warmed up, get the legs warmed up, the hips, the knees, the ankles, okay? Then you'll add maybe a couple of 5 plates on there, a couple of 10 kilo plates on there, and you'll only do a couple of reps each time until you get your working weight. So, for example, when I was 84 kilos, my working weight was roughly around 60 kgs ish. So it's a bit more, depending on a bit strong. It could have been 100. Okay, you get to that weight where you're not maxed out at your maximum. You're about 70-80%, and then that's when you're going to start your 5x5. You're going to take for strength. You're going to take about 2 to 5 minutes, rest in between each set. So you can give it maximum effort on the next round or the next set, okay? You should be struggling to do the last the last couple of reps of each set. You should be struggling to complete them. You should be able to do them, but you shouldn't be able to not be able to do them. You should just be able to just get there because it's just before failure, not quite failure, okay? So that's when you're going to do your 5x5. That's when your set will start. Okay? So every week, don't come in and try to throw on an extra 10, 15 kilos. Don't do that. Don't let your ego get in the way. Do it by a couple of kilos each time. Just small increments. Okay? Just small increments each time. Don't lift with your ego. Lift with what you've got. Okay? Work with what you've got. Think of longevity, and that strength will build up as your weight and your time doing deadlifts increases. You will keep doing that. Okay, you'll keep increasing, getting stronger and stronger. Now, accessorizing the lift, so things surrounding in your program that would help the deadlift get better. So, because the deadlift's a full body essentially, your back. So your bent over rows, your single rows, okay, single arm lat rows, lat pull downs, anything to do with the posterior chain, that's going to help, okay? That's going to help accessorize that. Now, I hope that helps you out a lot, guys. I'm really trying to cover as much as I can, okay? Next is going to be equipment. Again, I hear this a lot. I've heard it a lot over the years, the decades that I've been doing this, okay? Now, the deadlift, okay? People say that you're doing really well if you can bench 1.5 times your body weight and you can deadlift double your body weight. They're kind of what in society's put as your standard. Maybe not. Some people say yes, some people say no. It's down to your own perspective, okay? That's how I take it. Don't listen to anyone else too much. Just take pieces, and if it works for you, then brilliant. If it doesn't work for you, then don't. Okay? Now, what I've always found is I don't use straps and I don't use a belt until I've reached at least 1.5 times my body weight. For me, if you're wearing a strap on your wrist, okay, that weight is to your wrist, and if you think you've got a lot of force in it, the wrap is around your wrist, it's pulling down because you haven't got a full grip on the bar. If you've got straps around it, that's not your grip. Okay, you'll be holding the bar, but it's not your full grip. So you've got all of that. You see people on the edge of their fingers, hold on, all that weight is pulling on your wrist, okay? Now, your grip strength and your back strength should develop with your lift. So take your time, building your strength, building your weight up, building it up slowly but slowly but slowly and slowly and slowly, and only use I don't even like using the straps at all. If you've got really, really bad hands and or some medical issue that you can't, then hold a bar, then yeah, use them. But when you're talking about just your average Joe Blogs going in there, working out, lifting that, there's no reason to use belts or weights, belts or straps, until you've actually built up that correct form and using the correct weight over time. This could take you months. This could just take you months and months and months of that. Okay? You've got to keep chipping away, doing your time. Just keep on chipping away, not letting your ego get in the way, lifting correctly each and every single time you're actually in there. Okay? And I'm going to cover all of the major lifts, your squat, the deadlift we'll just cover today, your bench, and your overhead press. I'm going to cover all those basics for you, everything down what you need, biomechanically, everything. Okay? Now, I know some guys will say, hey, Cod's got some chunk on him there. He's like, how's he going to tell me what's what? Don't judge a book by its cover. Okay? I was training from like a beast when I was like 14 years old. Okay, I was having to walk 6 or more miles to the gym, which was in my dad's back garden. Train there 3-4 hours a day, walk back. Sometimes I'd walk back again. If I wasn't doing it, I can go back and do it again. I did that for years. Again, CrossFit I've trained in. I've done all these. I've made every mistake you could possibly make. And I've suffered the consequences of all of those mistakes on the same time. Yes, I love me food. Who doesn't? But you know what? I've made a plan. I made a commitment to myself and to you guys out there that as of this month, I'm going to give myself 12 months and I'm going to document it. Get myself there. I'm 45 years old next month. All right? I'm no spring chicken anymore. All right, guys? That's no excuse. I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to try my best. And I don't mind if I fail, and nobody else should mind if they fail. You know? We'll fall off. We'll just get back on again. I'm not going to get that six-pack that I might have had when I was younger. I'm never going to have that. And I don't mind. I'm happy. I'm okay with that. I made peace with that. Okay? And you should never let anybody look at you and tell you that you don't know what you're talking about. When you've done your time like me. I've been around the scene a long, long time, and people just sometimes judge on what they see. But I promise you, there's a hell of a lot of knowledge up here, and there's a hell of a lot of injuries in here that people don't even know. All right? And I want to share and try and keep a positive vibe with you all. I love you all. Peace out. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Peace out, Coach Carl. Love you.